So it looks like we have some actual breaking news here about Andrew Tate. Now, Andrew Tate was actually arrested. You guys probably saw that. Unfortunately, didn't get to make a video about that yesterday. However, he was arrested on charges related to rape and human trafficking. And so this is actually a pretty big deal because not only is it like a singular kind of like thing dealing with just like a single act of rape, but it's actually like a whole human trafficking operation, allegedly, right? Allegedly. And so he was already, I think his house was already raided back in April, or the investigation started, or both. And so that was something that people would bring up a lot, but they, Tate fans tried pushing it away. Oh, it's not legit. Even now they're trying to say, oh, it's the goons from the Matrix or whatever. But it says here, controversial internet personality Andrew Tate and his brother detained for a month in Romania. So this is huge. Not only this is so huge because a lot of these times you'll just see like it'll be like, oh, an investigation was opened up into X person, right? That's usually like a big deal. He was actually arrested. That's a much huger deal. It's a serious deal. Anytime you actually get arrested for something, it's a huge deal. And then not only that, but now, see, because what happens with people who have a lot of money, I don't know if you guys know what the difference between jail and prison is, right? Jail is the place they take you to wait while they detain you while awaiting them giving you your sentence. And then once you're sentenced, then you're moved to prison, right? So he's being taken to jail as he awaits his sentence and investigation, right? So what most rich people do who have money, they post bail, right? You pay money and you get out. You're able to leave while you await your sentence, right? So you're able to avoid jail. So it's like if he bailed out, it would still be a huge deal that he was arrested. Ginormous, gimungo deal, no matter what, right? Because actually being arrested is huge. But if he were to just bail out, it would lessen it a little bit, right? He's being detained for a whole month, and I guess bail is just being denied. And so CNN says controversial internet personality Andrew Tate and his brother were ordered to be detained for a month on Friday as prosecutors pursued claims of human trafficking and rape. Authorities in Romania said police served search warrants on Thursday at 5 homes and took 4 suspects into custody, 2 Britons and 2 Romanians, as part of the investigation. So I think what's going on here is there's a lot of this sex tourism going on. So people from like first world countries, like he's from Britain, I guess, but like people from Britain or other first world countries, the US, they go to impoverished countries to basically take advantage of impoverished women to have sex with them, which is super, super disgusting, unethical, completely unacceptable, nasty. He appears to have taken it to a whole nother level where he's running like a complete criminal operation. Someone like, I don't know if you guys know who Bald and Bankrupt is. He's like one of the travel vloggers. Like that's what he does. And so a lot of these people have these weird, like really shady pasts. But it says Romania's Directorate for Investigating Organized Crime and Terrorism, DIICOT, said the 4 suspects had been detained for an initial 24 hours. A Bucharest court accepted an application by DIICOT to hold Tate and his brother Tristan in custody for a further 30 days, their lawyer Eugen Vidineac said on Friday. Speaking to journalists outside the court, Vidineac said the decision would be appealed. Quote, "From our perspective, there are no grounds for taking the most drastic preventative measures provided by the Criminal Procedure Code," he added, according to Reuters. And so I think it probably is because he's a flight risk, like he's going to run. He's in Romania. He's not even from Romania. He's just been there. He's moved there, obviously, because it's easier to take advantage of women there than it is in Britain. And so he moved there. He's just been there for 5 years. So he's definitely a flight risk. I mean, that's like the number one thing for bail is like, I don't know if what's considered in bail more in terms of like denial, if it's more like public health, public safety in terms of like preventing another crime, or if it's flight risk. I don't know which one's considered like more in terms of the priority list. It says DIICOT alleged that the 4 suspects formed an organized criminal group that stretches from Romania to Britain and the United States for the purpose of committing the crime of human trafficking. The authorities alleged that 2 of the suspects misled the victims, quote, into believing that they intended to enter into a marriage/cohabitation relationship while transporting victims to Romania and later sexually exploiting them with physical violence and coercion. Authorities also said one of the suspects raped a victim on 2 separate occasions in March 2022. At least 6 victims were allegedly, quote, sexually exploited by the organized criminal group, the DIICOT statement said. On Thursday, DIICOT released an edited, grainy, sometimes out-of-focus video purportedly showing the raids. It also says On Friday, Andrew Tate tweeted from his verified account, the Matrix sent their agents. And so he's been exposed basically for this. These are all alleged. Obviously, there's an investigation going on into him, but I'm not surprised even in the slightest. And honestly, it's the kind of thing I expect from somebody like this. Obviously, a morally bankrupt dude. And a lot of these guys honestly have like a weird like PUA past, like pickup artist past. Anybody who's even like these travel vloggers and stuff. Because again, like I said, there's a lot of this like sex tourism that's going on, especially I think with like, I'm sure it was going on before too, but now it seems to be more prevalent, probably to do with the whole situation of like the incel rise and stuff like that. But that could also there could just be a confounding factor of like, oh, now it's just videoed, so maybe it was also happening in the past, but it wasn't as well shown, but definitely bigger now. So you go from somewhere like Britain to Romania to take advantage of women more, right? So Andrew Tate is obviously a massive piece of shit, so I'm not surprised by this at all. But the fact that he's being detained for a month, just even that month in jail in Romania, that's a huge deal. Being denied bail is a massive, massive deal. And this isn't like a singular person charge. This is like a organized crime charge, which organized crime charges are like a singular charge on steroids, basically. So absolutely, absolutely insane.